Bloody Mary, a magical mirror tale for kids. Once upon a time in a small village, there was a kind girl named Mary. She loved flowers, animals, and helping others. People in the village called her Mary the Gentle. One day, Mary found an old mirror in the attic of her grandmother's house. It was round, shiny, and had pretty carvings on the edges. Her grandmother smiled and said, "This is a magic mirror. If you stand in front of it and say your name 3 times with kindness in your heart, it will show you something special." Mary was curious. That night, she stood in front of the mirror, smiled, and gently said, "Mary, Mary, Mary." To her surprise, the mirror began to glow softly. Then she saw images of all the good things she had done, helping her friends, feeding the birds, and planting flowers. The mirror sparkled with joy. From that day on, children in the village would visit the mirror, saying their names with love and kindness. And every time, the mirror would show them their best memories and encourage them to do more good. People still talk about Bloody Mary, not as something scary, but as a story about a magical girl who reminded everyone to be kind, brave, and caring. The Vanishing Hitchhiker. One cold and windy night, a kind man named Tom was driving home after visiting his grandmother. As he drove along a quiet road, he saw a girl standing on the side, holding her thumb out. She looked cold and scared. She was wearing a long white dress and had a small suitcase. Tom stopped the car and asked kindly, "Do you need a ride?" "Yes, please," the girl said softly. "I'm trying to get home." Tom smiled and opened the door. "Hop in." The girl sat quietly in the back seat. She gave Tom an address in the city and thanked him. As they drove, they chatted a little. She said her name was Lily and she had been at a school dance. When they reached the house, Tom turned to tell Lily they had arrived, but she was gone. Surprised and confused, Tom knocked on the door. An old woman opened it. Tom explained what had happened. The woman nodded slowly and said, "That sounds like my daughter, Lily. But she died in a car accident many years ago. People say she still tries to come home." Tom was shocked. He looked at the back seat again. On it was a small white scarf. From that night on, Tom never forgot the kind and gentle girl who just wanted to go home. The Hook-Handed Man. Written for children. A long time ago, in a quiet town surrounded by forests, people used to whisper about a mysterious man who had a hook for a hand. They said he once lived a peaceful life, but an accident took his hand, and it was replaced with a shiny metal hook. He didn't want to scare anyone, so he moved far away, deep into the woods. One night, a boy named Jack and a girl named Lily were sitting in a car near the forest, telling spooky stories for fun. Suddenly, they heard something scratch the side of the car. "Scratch! Scratch!" Lily's eyes widened. "What was that?" she whispered. Jack tried to stay calm. "Maybe it's just a tree branch," he said, but he locked the doors just in case. The sound came again. Scratch. Then silence. Jack started the car and drove away quickly. When they got home, they checked the car, and there on the door handle was a shiny metal hook. They gasped. But instead of being scared, Lily smiled. Maybe he just wanted to say hello. From that night on, they never heard the scratching again. Some say the hook-handed man was just lonely and wanted a friend. The Bell Witch, adapted for kids. A long time ago, in the state of Tennessee, there lived a kind family called the Bells. They lived on a peaceful farm with green fields, animals, and a cozy wooden house. One day, strange things started happening at the Bell house. It began with soft knocking sounds on the walls. Then doors would open by themselves, and sometimes they heard whispering voices when no one was around. The Bells were confused but stayed brave. Mr. Bell thought it was just the wind or old wood creaking. But things got even spookier. At night, the children's blankets would be pulled off while they were sleeping, and they heard giggling in the dark. One daughter, named Betsy, started hearing a voice that called her name. "Betsy, Betsy," it whispered. She was scared, but she stayed strong. The mysterious ghost called itself the Bell Witch. It said it had come to protect Betsy and warn the family of danger. Even though it liked playing tricks, it never truly hurt anyone. In fact, one day, it warned the family that Mr. Bell was very sick, and they should call a doctor. People from all around came to visit the Bell house, hoping to hear the ghostly voice or see the spooky tricks. Some heard singing, others heard laughter, and a few even got friendly pats on the back from an invisible hand. After many years, the Bell Witch said goodbye. She promised to visit again someday, but only if someone forgot to believe in kindness and courage. And from that day on, the Bell family lived in peace again, always remembering to stay brave, help each other, and never be afraid of a little mystery. The Weeping Woman, A Tale of La Llorona. A long, long time ago, in a small village near a wide flowing river, there lived a kind and beautiful woman named Maria. She loved the sound of the wind in the trees and the gentle splash of the river's waves. Maria had 2 children whom she loved very much. Every day, she would sing to them sweet lullabies and take them to the river to play and laugh. They were a happy family. But one stormy night, Maria went walking by the river and lost her way. The wind howled and the sky was full of lightning. When she called for her children, they were nowhere to be found. Maria searched and searched, crying out their names. "Where are you, my children?" she wept. She walked up and down the river, but they were gone. From that day on, the villagers say they sometimes hear a woman crying near the river at night. "Ay, mis hijos, oh my children," she says in the wind. They call her La Llorona, the weeping woman. But don't be afraid. People say she's just a ghost looking for her children and doesn't want to hurt anyone. If you ever hear the wind whisper at night, it might just be Maria, still searching with love in her heart. The Jersey Devil, A Story for Kids. A long, long time ago, deep in the Pine Barrens forest of New Jersey, there lived a kind woman named Mother Leeds. She had many children, 12 of them. One chilly night, she found out she was going to have her 13th baby. She laughed and said, "This one will be my little wild child." Soon, a storm rolled in with thunder and lightning. The wind howled through the trees. On that spooky night, the baby was born. At first, he looked just like a normal little boy. But suddenly, poof, he changed. The baby grew wings like a bat, hooves like a horse, and a long, swishy tail. He let out a loud screech and flew right up the chimney and out into the night. From that day on, people in New Jersey would sometimes hear flapping wings in the dark or strange noises deep in the woods. They called the creature the Jersey Devil. But don't worry, he doesn't hurt anyone. He's just a shy, magical creature who likes to play hide and seek in the forest. If you visit the Pine Barrens, keep your eyes open. You just might spot him flying by the treetops. The Wendigo, children's version. Long ago, deep in the snowy forests of the north, people told stories about a mysterious creature called the Wendigo. They said the Wendigo was tall and thin, with icy breath and eyes that glowed like the moon. It wandered the woods during winter nights, looking for warmth and kindness, but it could never find any because it had forgotten how to be kind. One winter, a boy named Ben went into the forest with his father to gather firewood. They packed warm clothes, snacks, and a lantern. As they searched for good branches, Ben saw big footprints in the snow, too big for any animal he knew. "Dad, look at these prints," Ben said. His father looked carefully. "Those are Wendigo tracks," he whispered. "But don't worry, the Wendigo only comes near when people are greedy or mean." Ben nodded and made sure to stay kind and helpful. He shared his snack with a little bird and helped his dad carry wood. That night, as they returned to their cabin, they heard a soft howl in the distance. The wind blew gently through the trees. Ben thought he saw something tall watching from behind the pines, but then it disappeared. Ben smiled. Maybe the Wendigo saw me being kind and went looking for someone else to scare. From that day on, Ben always remembered, even in the coldest forests, kindness is the warmest thing of all. The Chupacabra, A Story for Kids. A long time ago, in a small village near the forest, people lived happily with their animals. Every night, they would tuck their goats and chickens into their pens and go to sleep under the stars. But one night, something strange happened. The next morning, Farmer Rosa found one of her goats missing. She looked around and saw small, odd footprints in the dirt. Who could have done this? She wondered. Then, more villagers began to notice something strange. Goats and chickens were disappearing, and strange marks were left behind. The villagers started to whisper, "It must be the Chupacabra." "The Chupacabra?" asked little Mateo. "It's a creature that comes out at night," said his grandmother. "It has glowing eyes, spiky fur, and drinks the blood of animals. But don't worry, it's only after goats." Mateo was curious. He wasn't scared. He wanted to find out if the Chupacabra was real. That night, Mateo and his dog Coco stayed up late in the barn. They brought a flashlight, snacks, and a soft blanket. Hours passed. Nothing happened. But just when Mateo was about to fall asleep, he saw glowing eyes in the trees. Coco barked, and the creature came closer. But it wasn't scary at all. It was small, with big eyes and a sad face. The creature looked tired and hungry. "You're the Chupacabra?" Mateo asked gently. The creature nodded. "But why are you taking the animals?" The Chupacabra sniffled. "I'm all alone. I just wanted a friend. And I was so hungry." Mateo smiled kindly. "You don't have to hurt animals to have friends. Come with me." The next day, the villagers were surprised to see Mateo walking with the Chupacabra beside him. At first they were afraid, but when they saw how gentle it was, they smiled. From that day on, the Chupacabra lived in the village. The villagers fed him fruits and vegetables, and he helped watch over the goats. Mateo and the Chupacabra became best friends, and no animals ever went missing again. Moral of the story: sometimes those who seem scary just need a little kindness and a friend.